Good morning and welcome everyone. I'm Miles Proden. I'm President and CEO of Wine Growers British Columbia. Getting used to saying that, but welcome to our third quarter update webinar, and thanks for joining us. This is an important time for us to really highlight and make sure we're celebrating all that we've done over the prior 3 months, October to December. And so we're going to give you a quick overview of what's happening there. A lot of this information was sent out in our quarterly update review, and that's you could have already seen it. We just felt and had some success last quarter in actually just taking some quick time to actually talk to you about it. So that's what this is all about. You can find that full report on winebc.com under industry communications. We're going to quickly walk through the third quarter highlights. We've restricted everyone to a certain amount of time, so but there will be time hopefully at the end to answer any questions. So under the chat button, if you would like to provide some questions, we'll get to those at the end. So you're welcome to do that anytime during the presentation. We'll try to get to as many of them as we can. But before we start, we just thought it'd be good to do a short video of the highlights of all the great work that we've done this quarter. Could encapsulate it in a PowerPoint presentation. That would take a long time, so please enjoy this quick summary video. Yes, thank you, everyone. Indeed, that's just to refresh or to remind everybody that that's all that we've been have accomplished for October, December, so Q3. So there's quite a bit there. We're going to take a few moments here just individually to go through a little bit more detail through the PowerPoint presentation. So let us bring that up, and I can talk a little bit about what's been going on from just sort of a general overall perspective. So Number one is the advocacy work that I've been directly involved with. And quickly taking an overview of that is we continue to make sure that under the COVID restrictions and closures and the rest of what's having happened, that we're making sure that our industry is being well represented and considered in all these decisions. So we've worked hard and continue to work hard on expanding service areas such as patios and tasting rooms. That has been extended until October 2021. And we're looking to make that permanent. That was something that government has indicated that they're going to maybe take a look at doing. However, it's important. I just sent out a CEO update yesterday with some details. If you haven't already and you're interested in having that expansion, you need to go to the LCRB website and start that process. If you're looking to do that this summer, can take anywhere between 5 to 6 months to make that happen, and because that process includes restaurants and everybody else for patios. So if wineries are interested in that, get in that process as quickly as you can. Extended hours for wine and grocery retail. A lot of those these measures were put in place temporarily and have been extended. And as I say, for patios, we're looking to extend that permanently, but retail is important. Being able to open that at 7 a.m. when the grocery store opens. And so we're seeing a lot of sales. That's important because a lot of older clientele are taking advantage of their shopping early before everyone else does. And so it's important to for them to have access to BC wine, and they've been taking advantage of it. The other one that's important to us is delivery to customers from registered secondary warehouses. That actually was in place but expired December 1st or December 31st, the first of this year. So that is an important one for us, and we're working with government to get that reinstated at a permanent basis. So that's a priority for us as well. And as I say, while these policies are temporary, we're working hard to see if we can't get them at least extended further and ideally permanently. So lots in the works, but those are sort of the highlights I wanted to talk about for the last quarter. A snapshot on where we're at for wine sales. Overall, wine sales in the province by liters, which we measure, which is reported to us, is increasing. And our market share, and as you see on the graph chart on the right, shows that our total liter sales are increasing as well with the overall wine sales, but we're losing market share. So what that's telling us is that while there's more wine being sold, the pie is getting bigger, our piece of that pie is shrinking. And that's the first time in March when that happened. Is the first time it has occurred since 2012. So it's not a trend we like to see. And so we're working as hard as we can to look at ways of increasing that market share. And so it's not an easy task because we see the numbers, and a lot of what's happening is people are generally trading down. So it's relatively lower priced import wines that people are taking up on. So our price point has held, so that's the good sign. But again, it's not a good trend as we're losing market share overall. Used to be around the 19 plus, and we're now 18 marks. So we're watching that closely. Next slide will show hospitality wholesale. No surprise to everybody here. Restaurants, on-premise, pubs, people that pour our wine and sell our wine to consumers on-premise has declined. Their overall business of hospitality restaurants has been catastrophic, the closures and restrictions. So it's not a big surprise to see this graph dropping, but we sure don't see any indication of it upticking. I think it's important for us to recognize. We recognize, and it's important for government to recognize that we're also further restricted in hospitality wholesale. When the pandemic hit, the choice was made for the LDB to drop any markup on hospitality sales, and that's impacted us as well. So we're kind of hit with the double whammy of declining sales through hospitality, but also the inability to have any markup there. So while it's really important that we support our on-premise hospitality partners, It's also important for government to recognize that we're not just being hurt by the loss of sales in that channel, but the inability to mark up on a wholesale price. So we're making sure government's aware of that. And then the last slide, I just want to kind of highlight what happened with a new cabinet. As you're aware, in early December, there was an election, or the results of the election came through, and we've got a majority NDP government. And our file, the wine file, has now been distributed over 5 different ministries now. So good for us, we believe, is the splitting up of the LDB under Minister Selena Robson, and the LCRB under Solicitor General Mike Farnham. So that's important because one is revenue related, and we've got some asks in there for better shelf space and that. And LCRB is about those licensing issues that are constantly an issue for us. So we've got 2 different people to deal with there instead of prior when they were lumped together. We've got a new tourism minister, Lana Popham, Minister of Agriculture, is the returning minister. So she's always been supportive of our industry. So that's good to have. And then Ravi Kahlon is a new minister responsible for the COVID recovery. So the good news is that we've got a lot of government focus on our industry. The challenge is, though, of those 5 ministers, 4 of them are brand new and need to be brought up to speed. And we've been working hard to make sure that they understand the complexities of this industry, and that when you do something over here, we call it whack-a-mole, something else here pops up. So we're busy with our advocacy programming, making sure that government's aware of the complexities, I say, of our industry. So that's what was busy for advocacy for Q3, and I'm going to turn it over to my colleague.
Thanks, Miles. Sorry, just trying to. So in celebration of our 30th anniversary for Bcbqa, the Wine Growers BC team, we teamed up with CAPS BC to recruit and challenge the best and the brightest sommeliers in British Columbia and in Alberta to compete in a 3-part innovative competitive series involving written exams, blind tastings of BC wine, virtual dinners, and the ultimate BC wine pairing challenge. The winning sommelier from each virtual event traveled to the Okanagan to compete in a 3-round finale, pairing BC wines with plates created by acclaimed BC winery chefs throughout the Okanagan over 3 days. The sommelier finalists included Adriano Cartuliers, he's a sommelier and wine director with 10 Acres in Victoria, Andrew Forsyth, the sommelier at L'Abattoir Restaurant in Vancouver, and we had Jean Taylor, WSET diploma and store manager for the Calgary Co-op Wine Spirits beer store, or chain there. And as you can see on the screen, the first to earn the Wines of British Columbia Top Sommelier 2020 title is Andrew Forsyth. The local flights program that we ran this year was developed to align with the COVID-19 restrictions and requirements. It was a reimagined version of our long-standing event, Color. We needed to provide a platform to get BC wine in front of key trade and media to keep BC wine and support of our local industry top of mind with these key decision makers. The safety of all involved was a key priority as we navigated through this ever-changing environment. And we are thrilled to share that the first local flights event was a great success with 100% positive feedback by all involved, from participating wineries to attendees and volunteer sommeliers. And in response to this positive feedback, there are plans in place to integrate local flights into our ongoing programs in this next year. And to encourage local support and help strengthen the collective industry, the Wine Growers British Columbia partnered with Destination British Columbia, the BC Hotel Association, BC Restaurant and Food Association, BC Dairy Association, and BC Seafood Alliance to collaboratively honor and celebrate the British Columbia harvest season and a bright future for all industries going forward. The campaign's aim was to bring local wine, hospitality, and tourism partners together to ensure a strong future for all of us, keeping the support local message top of mind as we brought the challenging year of 2020 to a close. Candice, our marketing manager, will be showcasing some of the harvest campaign highlights next. And I'm happy to share that this collaboration was a great success and that we are already in the process of planning more collaborated efforts for future endeavors. And now I invite Candice to share some of our highlights from the marketing.
Thank you, Kim. Next slide, Carrie. So BC Harvest Month, as Kim mentioned, had three main parts: awareness of BC wine harvest, inspire people to visit BC wine country, and engage with our Harvest Sips and Trips contest. The campaign reached a total of 47.6 million and engaged over 304,000. Those numbers include media, influencers, social media, Google Ads, advertising with brands like Narcity, Pattison, Gismondi, Global TV, Castanet, and Post Media. Plus, there were print ads and point of sale materials. The contest had almost 14,000 entries, 30% of which have signed up for the Vine and now receive valuable newsletter information from us. There were opportunities for additional contest entries through the Wines of BC Explorer app, through usage or downloads, which saw great success with 2,500 new downloads and over 114,000 clicks on different wines, lists, wineries, and features. October also saw a record number of users on winebc.com. Our page views increased by 98% over the previous year, and the average time on page increased and the bounce rate decreased. Next slide, Carrie. The holiday campaign, in partnership with BC Dairy, worked to keep local BC wine and BC cheese a priority, reaching new customers and staying front of mind with returning customers. Tactics included influencers, social media, Google Ads, plus advertising with Pattison, Taste Magazine, Food Network, and Globe and Mail. In addition, this campaign utilized the seasonally high foot traffic to expand our point of sale materials to include 180 grocery stores, 125 BC liquor stores, 9 Sobeys stores, plus BC Wine Cheese and infographics were sent out to 600 wine and cheese seminar attendees through the Canadian Cheese Ambassador. We also created a video for Food Network commercials and Globe and Mail ads based on footage filmed during the Chef Meets BC Grapes Somm Smackdown competition. You can view that on our YouTube channel. The campaign utilized assets targeting audiences interested in après-ski, wine, direct shipping, wine as gifts, wine and cheese pairings, and recipes. The total campaign reached 82 million and engaged 208,000. The media recall for retail signage and social posts was a high 32%. The main webpage for the campaign was the pairing page, which saw a 64% increase in page views compared to the previous year. Next slide, Carrie. We continue to work with BC liquor stores. Boutique Wines from BC, now an ongoing quarterly program with BC liquor stores, offers new listing opportunities to smaller lot wines and an opportunity for consumers to taste new wines. In November, the wines were featured in 25 BC liquor stores. A blog written by wine expert Curtis Colt about the 10 selected boutique wines performed very well. It was the #2 blog for all of 2020 on winebc.com, and the average time on page was an impressive 3 minutes and 27 seconds. On October 19th, 20th, and 21st, BC Liquor Stores hosted its annual BCBQA Advocate Learning Seminars. This year, it looked a little different as it was all virtual. We worked with BC Liquor Stores and produced a series of 4 videos featuring BC winemakers in the vineyard. You can also watch these on our YouTube channel. And I think I throw it over to you, Laura.
Thank you, Candice, and good morning, everyone. So Q3 was a busy period for the communications team, as well as we embraced new ways of doing things by utilizing best practices and partnerships that were developed during the second quarter. In October, with the help of an extensive COVID-19 safety plan and the amazing cooperation from our member wineries, we developed an innovative itinerary that allowed us to safely and successfully host an intimate group of 15 key media and trade in region for a 3-day fam tour and our Chef Meets BC Grapes Somm Smackdown grand finale. We worked with Connect 7 Group to ensure the FAM tour abided by all provincial COVID-19 restrictions and requirements to create a safe and successful event. The feedback we received from our guests was very positive, with many indicating that they preferred this format to the traditionally fast-paced itineraries they're accustomed to. Specifically, more time spent touring the regions with smaller, more focused tastings at the wineries really allowed them to appreciate the quality time with the place, people, and the wines they engaged with. Following the tour, one of our media guests, Christopher Waters, wine editor for the Globe and Mail, expressed his gratitude for the well-planned out and safely executed trip, saying, while he's fortunate to receive and taste lots of BC wine all the time, the true value was the time he spent in the vineyards, the information he retained while touring the regions, having a few moments in between to reflect and really experience the place. So having these media in region really adds context when they are tasting wines back in their offices. And the opportunity to connect and physically and emotionally with people, places, and culture is so important in what we do. How we do that is changing, and we will continue finding effective ways to form these meaningful connections. In support of our Wine BC 2030 strategy, to build and promote a world-class brand for wines of British Columbia, Wine Growers BC has partnered with Wine Intelligence to conduct, oh, sorry, Carrie, not finished the last slide. Thank you. To conduct some proprietary research over the next 3 years to measure trade and consumer perception and awareness for wines of British Columbia. The surveys were in field October through November, resulting in 1,000 regular wine drinker respondents and 382 wine trade respondents in Canada. This research will establish key performance benchmarks that will allow us to develop programming and strategies addressing areas of weakness and opportunity for driving positive trade and consumer perception and awareness change for the industry. So make sure you register for the upcoming BC Wine Industry Insight Conference on March 18th, where Wine Intelligence CEO Luli Halstead will be presenting these research results. And with travel restrictions still in place, we continued working with our export strategy task group to build a 3-year Wine Growers BC wine export strategy and route to market for BC wineries. The final strategy was presented and approved by government on November 30th and shared with member wineries and stakeholders in our email communications. With the 3-year plan now in place, the next step is to get down to the specific details. So for this, we are creating an export committee to critically analyze export programs, specific events, and tasting opportunities to enter and grow our brand in priority markets around the world. If you haven't already seen the strategy, it is available on winebc.com. Okay, Carrie, now we can move to the next slide. The highlights in the news and high-level snapshot of what the team has been up to. The communications team kicked off the 3rd quarter with a comprehensive plan in support of our successful October is BC Harvest Month campaign, with a focus on leveraging our successful media partnerships from our Buy BC campaign and identifying new strategic partnerships with local media, social influencers, and digital platforms. The plan overall resulted in 80 highly targeted editorial pieces, 152 influencer posts, including IGTV and Zoom videos, all promoting and driving excitement and awareness of BC's grape harvest for a total reach of 26.7 million. The top media influencer in Q3 was Anthony Gismondi, with 4 editorial mentions, complemented by 8 Zoom videos as he followed member wineries into the vineyards to experience BC grape harvest across the province through a virtual lens. Articles with the most impact included global news feature on the top awarded 2020 BC wines from the BC Lieutenant Governor Wine Awards in October. Congratulations to all of our award-winning wineries. Well done. And again, results from our COVID-19 industry impact survey continued gaining headlines, reaching more than 11 million viewers from a feature story on Global News. In December, British Columbia was featured among the top wines in the world in Decanter's Top Wines of 2020 lists, including our very own Michaela Morris's Top Fine Wines of 2020, Decanter's Festive Edition, top 16 standout wines for the holidays, and Wines of the Year 2020 Red and Rosé Wines by Tina Gillies, a strong advocate of BC wine since her inaugural visit here in 2017. So it's great to see BC wine being recognized among these internationally acclaimed wine critics, making international best of wine lists we can be proud of both abroad and at home. These articles, along with a full summary of BC wine media clippings, is available in the Q3 report. So head over there for more positive coverage for Wines of British Columbia. Thanks, and I'll pass it over to Ainsley for an update on our awards consolidation.
Thanks, Laura. I'll give an update on the awards and the consolidation. So out of the 12 international wine competitions we consolidate for, 3 were canceled and 3 were postponed due to COVID this fiscal year. So just to let everyone know as well, the New World competition that normally is at the end of this month, after 30 years, they're canceling their competition indefinitely. They're just putting their hats up. It was a good 30 years run. And so this fiscal year we had, or this quarter was San Francisco International Wine Competition. We had 4 participating wineries and 35 of those wineries won. Congratulations. And the best of SIP Northwest, 14 participating wineries and 21 awards won. Congratulations again. And you can check on the list of winners on our awards page. Thank you.
Thanks, Ainsley. So I'm going to take a look at some of the new things that we took care of in Q3, continuing to find new ways of working to promote the BC wine industry and communicate to our members, trade, and media. So of course, virtual events are on everyone's minds. December 2nd, we hosted the first ever virtual winemakers and viticulturists forum, which helps provide important content for the 2020 vintage report and is used to promote and educate trade, media, and stakeholders on the 2020 vintage. Now, typically we hold this forum as an in-person roundtable discussion. And this year we were excited to welcome a panel of 6 BC winemakers and grape growers to help engage virtual attendees and facilitate a lively discussion even while we were far apart. The forum was moderated by Reese Pender, Master of Wine, and the virtual discussion was attended by 61 winemakers and viticulturists and will help shape the 2020 vintage report to be distributed in Q4. And on December 16th, we hosted the first ever virtual BC Wine Industry Recognition Awards, recognizing Tim Pazzi, wine and food writer, HiredBelly.com, and Robert Smith, Director of Sales, Hester Creek Winery, for their outstanding achievements and contributions to the BC wine industry. 55 media, trade, and industry attended the virtual ceremony, with many recording videos of congratulations in advance of the ceremony to surprise the recipients as they were awarded the recognition virtually. And in Q3, we were very happy to welcome our newest member, Infinity Sparkling Winehouse on Vancouver Island. You can also see a full list of Wine Growers British Columbia members on our website at winebc.com. And in Q3, we also updated the quarterly report with a more streamlined newsletter and the addition of a video of quarterly highlights, similar to what you saw at the beginning of the meeting. The first of the updated quarterly reports and highlights was sent on November 20th, followed by our very first quarterly update member webinar on November 24th with 23 members in attendance. And in Q3, we also sent 12 weekly update member newsletters with an average open rate of 45% and 3 CEO updates with an average open rate of 45%. Media releases and targeted email communication within the quarter sent to trade media members and stakeholders had an average open rate of 39%, and the industry average sits at 23%. I'll now turn it over to our content marketing manager, Ashley.
Thanks, Carrie. Those are some phenomenal stats on open rates. Good morning, everyone. As we continue to adapt and stay nimble through this different time in content, our narrative continues to focus on and to celebrate our 9 BC wine regions, luckily found right here in our own backyard. Our message to consumers continues to emphasize a consciousness to buy BC or a buy local first philosophy while respecting and aligning with ever-changing BC provincial health orders. For Harvest, Holiday, Boutique Wines, and Somm Smackdown are 4 major themes for the quarter, albeit not all. Creative digital content formats ranged from branded social media graphics to geo-targeted infographics to long-form inspirational videos to short-form social videos that included many third-party storytellers who focused on wine, food, and safe local travel. Our strongest content pieces continue to be those that, that share a genuine story of people and place and new opportunities for purchase. Our 3 staples, of course, people, product, place, can be seen in some examples here in this slide. This includes a strategic inclusion this year of valuable product lists in our new Wines of BC Explorer app. As far as frequency, over these 3 months, we hit more new records, delivering more than 1,130 pieces of social content across 8 of our platforms. On paid social media advertising, we developed 29 creative ad sets in-house, reaching an audience of 1.43 million. Post engagement totaled 1.17 million on these ads, with an excellent cost per engagement of 5 cents. When targeting traffic, we earned over 100,000 at an average CPC of 62 cents. Notably, these numbers do not include sponsored social posts from media partners like Casnet, Gazmondi, and Narcity, just to name a few. This count was included in my colleague Laura and Candace's report, which you heard earlier. Next slide, please. Blogs and influencer marketing. So 8 blogs were developed over the QC, earning just over 8,000 views. Blog narratives produced a large range of stories. Sommelier Curtis Colt wrote on the rare boutique wines at BC liquor stores. Vernali featured a series of Vancouver restaurants with BC wine and food pairings. A popular blog on BC winery accommodations was also authored by the talented and well-loved Tim Fuzzy. We also partnered again with local and award-winning author Jennifer Schell, who was able to visit some of our members in the Okanagan Valley and Vancouver Island wine regions before regional lockdowns took place. Alongside the blog, Q3 influencer marketing campaigns brought together a diverse group of new voices. One Vancouver-based influencer, Van City Wild, with their little one in tow, visited 4 wineries in the Fraser Valley wine region with the aim of showcasing how family-friendly, warm, and down-to-earth our BC wineries are. Other voices included Calgary-based sommelier Bad Royale, Vancouver foodie Emma Chu, Instagram darling Vernali, Okanagan-based wine lover Tori Wessler, Burnaby-based Deanna Wu, and to bring in the new year, Sparkling Winos, among others. Estimated media value for our influencers totaled 1.39 million from 294 influencer posts, reaching close to 1.5 million and earning 39,000 engagements. Wine Growers BC negotiated a total of 14 influencer contracts targeted to both BC and Alberta markets for this quarter. Last slide, please. Lastly, to further connect and support the health and professional development of the BC wine industry, Wine Growers British Columbia continues to offer membership training webinars on digital marketing topics. Our one in Q3, close to 70 industry took part, which spoke specifically to influencer marketing for BC wine brands and best practices related to that. Thank you for listening. That's all from content and all for me for Q3.
Thanks, team. That's fantastic. It really is a lot of information, and as said earlier, the full report, Q3 report that was sent out earlier, I think a week or 2 ago, is available on winebc.com in the member, under the member section in industry communications. So I invite you to take a look there if you need anything, if you want to see anything more specific. And as always, please feel free to reach out to any of us at any time. We want to keep in the spirit of keeping this under 30 minutes. Ask if there's any questions. Please do so under the chat, and we're happy to address them. But again, if you prefer to follow up directly with any of us, please feel free to do so. Watch for the Q4 newsletter that will be coming out, and webinar will be coming in April. And hopefully this is a useful use of time in being able to just see what the BC Wines of BC, Wine Growers British Columbia have been up to. So happy to share it with you. And Lastly, as Laura alluded to and mentioned, that we will be having our BC Wine Industry Insight Conference, March 18th, held virtually this year. Watch the weekly for a registration link and at least hold the date for now. So if there are not any immediate questions on chat, which it looks like there are not, we're going to sign off. Again, thanking everyone to take the time and look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.